I grew up in a really good home. My parents were so loving, and they took really good care of us. I had great sisters and a brother. We had a lot of fun. We came to church, and I was essentially a blank canvas for life to write on me and for God to write on me. Life started to happen, and when life started to happen, that's when the labels started to be written on me. I played a lot of sports, and I had a knee injury, and I had surgery, so they prescribed me prescription pills. So when I started taking those, I just knew immediately that it was a problem. It was almost instant, and I liked how that feeling of getting high, so I wanted to be around that. I became physically and mentally addicted to it, so I had to have it or I would start physically getting ill. So, and every time I tried to go to rehab or treatment centers, I would go for a week or two, and then I went back to it. It was just, I don't know, I think it was kind of like the escape. I had a lot of friends, a lot of good friends, and it just seemed too much pressure in high school, and I just didn't want to be around it. I don't know, I just felt like you had to be too nice and do this and wear that, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I just wanted to be around people who didn't care about those things. So the standards were lower, hanging around other people. Okay, so I just liked being at a lower standard. It was just, I felt more comfortable. I feel like my story's not like everyone else's, where they're like, I wouldn't talk to God, I wouldn't go to church. I was actually the opposite, and I came to church all the time, and I prayed all the time because I knew the only way I was going to get better was through God. He was the only one that could release me because the chains of addictions are so deep that I just knew I needed Him and that it was going to be the only way. When I was in my addiction, when I would look in the mirror, the person I saw staring back at me, I was full of so much doubt, so much anger and rage. I was so anxious about my future. I was very doubtful on whether God would heal me. And I was addicted. I was an addict. And it was hard to see that back at myself. My sister Becca was working with believers, and they were cleaning up one of the Warren Family Mission's facilities. And while she was there, that's when she heard about Hannah's house. I was finally ready to get help, and all the doors were just shutting, and I was starting to get, upset and anxious. I was like, what am I gonna do? And one day walking out one of the treatment centers that the door got shut to, my mom just blurted out Hannah's house, and I said yes. And Hannah's house saved my life, and it's a faith-based program. It's very strict, and that's what I needed. And it's women who suffer with addiction and life challenges, because a lot of people struggle. It doesn't have to be just an actual addiction, so that's why that place is so nice too. And while I was there, God changed me day by day through His Word. One of the workers there, she lived there, and her mom came to stay with her for a short time because her mom got hurt, and so she was helping take care of her. And I remember looking out the window, her helping her mom out. God put it in my heart, I was like, I need to get better so I can be there for my parents and my family. And so fast forward to 2 or 3 years of my sobriety, I actually got to do that. My dad was sick, and my grandma was not in her 90s and needed someone to check in on her and do small things for. So I was able to take care of them. It felt good, to help others. I feel like in your addiction, you're just taking, and you can't help anyone either. You're no good. And I'm just really grateful all the time that God gave me that chance to take care of my family. I was teaching, and when I was in my addiction, so I was a full-time teacher and a full-time addict. And since going through the Hannah's House program, I loved it there, and so I'm still there, just on a different level. Now I go in and I get to teach. I teach God's Word. I just feel like it's really cool that what God has done to weave, my skills and all that together, because now I'm still teaching. I still get to teach, but I get to teach God's word. My goal is to be hope to them, to show, you can recover and you can get out of this, So I had decided in my heart that I wanted to show people, the power of God and that there's a chance. I'm Leah and I'm God's masterpiece.